If you haven't heard of Jack Butcher, seriously, where have you been? The internet cool kid, branding and marketing savant, and over the last few years has built one of the strongest internet communities going, which he's done off the back of just some very clean, simple diagrams. Jack's ability to maintain a consistent brand, balance maturity and playfulness, and also thoughtfully adopt new trends means he's an incredible example of a community-led marketer. And in this video, we're going to be dissecting really practical lessons that we can learn from him and apply to our own community building efforts. By the way, if you're new to the channel, my name's Tom and this is the Community Lab. Here we tear down the strategies and tactics of the world's best community builders so you can apply them to building your own community. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, bang subscribe and you'll be notified when we drop new videos. And also check out our ebook. We've got 37 pages deep diving into some of the best minds in the business that teaches you all you need to know about building a community. Now, it's hard for me to overstate how important I think the consistency in Jack's brand has been with compounding and putting him into the place where he is today. Let's just take a look at some of his products and the threads that tie them all together. So look at his Instagram account. There's 937 visuals here, and they're all in basically the same style. His merch shop has the same typography, the same color scheme, and the same aesthetic. His courses, again, all with a very, very similar aesthetic. And even when Jack tries new things such as checks, which we're going to come to later, he remains incredibly consistent. And I think using this brand system that he has for visualized value and sweating these details of typography and components and color schemes have been incredibly important in putting him in the position that he is today. Now, I can't really comprehend a commitment to an aesthetic like this. I mean, how many times have your favorite brands gone through a refresh? You know, look at refinement culture, taking all of our favorite logos and just stripping them down to the bare minimum. I think this is because as humans and as brand builders, we often think that by having this sexy rebrand, by changing our aesthetic, it's going to solve some of our underlying problems. And of course it won't. It's just something for us to get excited about that is often really complete nonsense. And Jack stays true to the path. He decided on his brand a number of years ago and he stuck to it, and everything that he does, he bakes in that initial identity. And it's incredibly important because now people who've been following from the start can see what visualized value is doing, can see that it's Jack Butcher whenever something comes out, and it makes the brand feel like it's been around for a lot longer than it has because of that consistency. Now, as much as I'm an advocate for, just getting things started with the aim of iterating later, I think Jack shows the counter argument to this, that taking some time to get something right and playing a game that you can play infinitely, with him, he knows that he can put out these graphics every single day. He can keep consistent to his branding every single day and find meaning in it is very, very important. So I think the key lesson we can take from this is just take some time at the very beginning to really get your branding right and create something that you can stick to for the long term. Now, while Jack's artwork and brand appear mature, he does balance this very carefully with playfulness. And this is the second lesson that we're going to take from Jack Butcher, is to balance that maturity of a brand with some playfulness in absolutely the right way. So let's take a look at a few examples. So the first one here is the WAGMI cap that he dropped at the height of Cryptomania. May have got one myself. It was fun and playful, but completely on brand. And it's not just limited to visuals. If we look here at how Jack makes the copy of a sale even fun, you go on his site now and this is exactly what you'll see: inflation adjusted pricing. He doesn't limit himself to playfulness with his visuals, he also incorporates it into the copy as well. The third one is a tagline that Jack uses throughout a number of his projects, and again ties everything together with the format of X may or may not be notable. So this artwork may or may not be notable. Very, very, clever here. It's become a bit of an internet meme, to be honest. And another kind of pithy one-liner that he's pulled into his branding to make everything tie together, but also funny. And the final thing that we'll look at is one of his projects, which I think was really just done to gain a lot of attention and do it in a very playful way, and that is his Fame NFT. So if you're not aware of this, a couple of years ago in the NFT mania that we were going through, an NFT by Beeple sold for like, I think it was 80 million or something insane. And what Jack Butcher did is and we'll come to this later, which is the timing aspect of what he does, but he created an NFT called Fame, put it out there. It was just a very simple artwork that said Admit One, and priced it just higher than the most expensive NFT. Just something fun, something playful. Probably didn't ever think anyone was going to buy it, but was something that his audience enjoyed and something that I certainly enjoyed when he put that out there. So I think the key takeaway here is when you're thinking about building your community, don't take it so seriously. You know, this is meant to be fun. You're meant to be having fun with people. Put out a bit of playfulness, you know, especially when it's combined like Jack with the maturity and the value that people are getting. It's an incredible way to build a better attachment and a better relationship with your community. The counter law to this, I think, is what Elon Musk is doing at the moment, taking a company like Twitter, removing the W from the sign and calling it Titter. It's like, yeah, mate, that might have been funny when I was like 5 years old, not now. Like, this is not how to approach this. So do not do what Elon does, do what Jack does. Now, the final lesson we're going to take from Jack is around jumping on new trends, but doing it in a really thoughtful way. And we're going to explore this idea through his NFT project, Checks. Now, if you don't know about Checks, it basically came about when Elon tweeted that he was going to change the Twitter system to, instead of awarding verification to people who are supposedly notable, he was going to just charge everyone $8. Now, Jack immediately put a plan in place to jump on this, and he opened up a unlimited mint, so anyone could mint, you know, as many as they want, of these $8 check marks. And when this happened, I don't know if Jack actually had like a master plan for how this project was going to turn out. To be honest, I think he probably just saw the opportunity and capitalized on it. A lot of people did this in the NFT space, but it's really what Jack did after this that differentiates himself from all the other creators out there, and I think shows why he's built such an engaged community. So the first thing Jack did was commit to creating scarcity in the checks that he just sold. So the NFTs were minted. I think there was around 16,000 of them. And in NFT land, and to be honest, in any community, scarcity is so important. People want to feel like they're part of something unique, that they're part of something that has, you know, an allure to it that not everyone can just get in. And he created a mechanism for checks around creating scarcity. And it was incredibly simple in a way, but also incredibly effective. To understand what he did here, we just need to briefly understand the check system. So when you mint a check NFT, you basically get 80 of these verified check marks within your kind of overall NFT. What Jack implemented was a way for you to combine these two 80s into a 40. Then you can take two 40s and combine them into a 20, two 20s into a 10, etc., etc. So the idea is that people are actually burning these NFTs to make their NFTs more valuable or more unique. And the second thing that he's done here with the check system, as well as creating scarcity, is actually gamify this whole process. So as well as being able to combine these NFTs, people can actually select the number that they want. So if you've got one that's number 100 and one that's number 964, you can combine them both and keep that number 100, which people will probably think is going to be more valuable. And another really clever thing that he did, which he called sacrifice, was you can take an NFT color that you like and an NFT number that you like, merge them together and keep the best of both. So really, really interesting what he's done here. And I think an incredible example of how, while building a community by thinking about scarcity and gamification and having a commitment to the project, you can really make it do incredible things. Now, as an aside to this, Jack clearly sweated every single detail of this project, and that cannot be overstated. If you look throughout the UI and UX design of how it works, it's unlike any NFT projects I've come along to. You know, it's very, very engaging. He's really thought about every single detail, put stuff in there that isn't really necessary, but just adds to the user experience. Again, gamifies it, makes it feel like you're part of a community. And I think this tweet is a great example. For 3 days, he was just obsessing over the colors of these check marks. Like, this really just shows how committed he is to these projects, and also worrying how it's going to kind of fit into the visualized value brand again, because that's obviously all monochrome, and now he's got these colors in, and he actually implemented a final kind of boss check, which is what happens if you combine them all together, which is the identity of the visualized value brand. So this may all seem a bit crypto bro, but it's really not. It's relevant to building any community. You know, find a way to create scarcity, find a way to gamify the experience, and just be transparent about how much effort you're putting into the project. And I think they contributed majorly to the overall success of the project. Now, there's so many other things that we could dive into on checks, but that would take a whole other video. So we'll leave it there, and we might do a proper deep dive into that project in a few episodes' time. So hopefully that's helped you glean some insights into how Jack Butcher has gone around building such an engaged community. First, we talked about brand consistency and how by sticking to a brand that is true to yourself, by playing that infinite game and putting out content in a very, very similar style is actually a huge advantage to you when you look at all the other brands out there that are constantly swapping and changing their styles and their strategies. Then we looked at playfulness and how Jack finds a great balance between a mature design and also the occasional kind of very fun thing or playful thing to just offset that, makes him seem very authentic, very human, and helps people resonate with the brand a lot more. And finally, we talked about how to look at trends, but to jump on them thoughtfully. So many people aped into crypto, so many people currently are aping into AI, but the idea is, okay, how do we do that, but in a very thoughtful way that's going to differentiate ourselves from everyone else doing the same thing? So if you like that video, we're going to be doing a lot more case studies like this, deep dives into incredible community builders. So make sure you subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it. And also we have that ebook for you to check out if you want it. Links in the description. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time.